Hey guys, it's Carly back with another What I Watched video. It's been a little while since I've made a video like this, mainly because I've been lazy and tired and stuff like that, but figured it was time to do another one and watched a couple things. I feel like I haven't really watched as much as I usually do, but figured I'd just go on through. Once again, this is a video where I just go through, give my ratings on movies that I've watched recently and talk about them briefly. So just gonna go ahead and start. And first up we have The Haunting, the original Haunting from back in the day. In a previous video I mentioned that I had watched the remake before this one because I actually found the remake on VHS, and since I was collecting VHS I decided to pick it up, and I kind of regret doing that because I really should have watched this one beforehand because I didn't realize they were going to be so close, like identical movies basically, like a shot for shot remake. I mean there's some differences obviously because it's like the remake's an updated version of this and this is really old, but it was kind of boring to watch this again because it felt like I'd just seen it already. But with that being said, this is a much better movie than the remake. It is a great movie for what it is, and I did enjoy it even though I shouldn't have watched it so close to the remake, so I give it an 8.5 out of 10. And then after that, I went through and watched the first 4 Alien movies. I did this because I wanted to go see the new Alien movie with a friend in theater, so in order to do that I had to actually watch these movies because I had never seen them before. For some reason I just didn't really have much interest in this franchise because I knew most of them were more action oriented than horror, and I'm never a big fan of action horror type movies. I just can't really get into them, but surprisingly, I did not mind these movies. They were not too bad. Some of the action took me out of it, and for it being so long, some of that took me out of it as well, but I did like the story and the Ripley character. The first Alien I really loved. That's obviously the most horror-related one. I love just like that isolated feeling where they're all out in space with like this alien. It's really creepy. And the alien looks great. And then Aliens I liked more than I thought I would, but I did fall asleep while watching it a little bit, so I kind of missed a few parts in the middle. But with that being said, I liked that one as well. And I gave Alien a 9 out of 10 and then Aliens an 8 out of 10 just to keep updated. I'm just talking about these all at the same time since I have this in a 4-pack. But and then moving on to Alien 3, I actually did like that story in that one, and I thought the Ripley character was pretty strong. I know some people start not liking it once part 3 hits, but I enjoyed that one too, and I actually gave it an 8.5 out of 10 because it felt a little more horror than part 2 did, and it wasn't as long, so it kept my interest a little more. But then finally you get into Alien 4, and I really did not care for this one too much at all. I hated the whole idea behind the Ripley character, and I don't know, I just didn't like many of the other characters in it either, and I had trouble paying attention to this one, so I only gave it a 6 out of 10, but all in all, I was surprised by this franchise. I liked it more than I thought I would, and I am glad that I finally got the chance to check it out, got the excuse for the new movie coming out, so. And then moving along, I started watching more of my VHS collection because I was kind of slacking on it, just because it's a pain to, keep rewinding movies, and VHS are just so bulky, and like, it's easier to just pop a DVD or Blu-ray in. But with that being said, I watched Candyman 2. I said before that I bought this when I was on my trip to that drive-in, and I had never seen Candyman 2. I've only seen the first one, and I'd heard bad things about this, and I would kind of agree. To me, this is almost like a remake of the first one, but a much less than remake. So yeah, I did not care for this too much. It wasn't awful, it was just kind of average. I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. Then moving along, we have Warlock, the Armageddon. This is the second one in the Warlock trilogy, I believe. I've never seen the first Warlock, but I found this VHS and my friend convinced me to grab it, so I just went ahead thinking I would hate it just because this cover looks like it would be like fantasy type movie, but like set in like weird times or something. But I was actually surprised. I did enjoy this because it was, it wasn't set, like I was picturing like a Lord of the Rings type feel or something, but it's actually just a normal movie with this dude in it. So I actually was surprised by this, and I do want to check out the first one because I hear it's much better than this one. So I gave this a 7.5 out of 10. I did enjoy it. Then moving along, we have Tremors 2, another one that I have not seen the first one to, but since I own this one already and I'm lazy and didn't feel like going out and buying the first one, I figured I'd just watch it because I couldn't stand having it just sit there on my to-watch pile. So I gave it a watch, and it's another one that I accidentally fell asleep to, not because I was bored, but because I watched it at a bad time when I was really tired and I was just laying in bed watching it. So when I woke up the next day, I had to rewind it and start from where I left off. But anyway, I did actually like this movie. It's a pretty good movie. It's only like PG-13, and you could tell it's a PG-13 movie, but it's a fun movie. And I hear all the other ones in this franchise are pretty good, so I will definitely check out the rest of them. I did give this a 7.5 out of 10 as well. And then the last VHS I have here is one that I've had in my pile for a long time, and it was bothering me that like it's just been sitting there for so long, so I finally watched it the other day, and that is The Mothman Prophecies. I didn't think I was going to like this that much, but I actually did like it a little bit. I like the beginning parts and kind of the end parts. It's one of those deals, like the middle sections are kind of confusing, and I got a little bit zoned out throughout it, but all in all, I mean, it's not too bad for what it is. Like I said, I like the beginning, and then the end is one of those like disturbing type endings that like just something like you would never want to happen to you. So I did enjoy it for that, and that kind of bumped up my rating. I gave it a 7 out of 10. It's not for everyone, but it wasn't too bad. And then after that, I actually skipped these by accident. I did end up watching Prometheus and Alien Covenant. My friend brought over Prometheus, so I do not own it, and I didn't love that one. It might have been because I was with my friend, and it's hard to pay attention to movies when you're with a friend and you're kind of talking throughout it, but it wasn't my favorite. It was more like, not action-y, but like adventure type movie than horror to me, and like I just can't force myself to get into those movies no matter how much I try. But I'm sure, like, I know a lot of people do like that movie, so I can't really hate on it, but for me it was only like a 6.5 out of 10, but that doesn't mean it's a bad movie. And then I saw Alien Covenant in theaters the other day, and the theater we went to completely sucked because the seats weren't very comfortable, and just like the quality of the theater isn't that good because it's an old theater, so that kind of messed it up a little bit for me. I wish we would have went to a more comfortable theater, but I didn't dislike this movie, but to me it didn't really do much for the franchise. I don't know, it might be because I watched all the other ones in order and I was getting burnt out on the franchise itself, but to me it just didn't really have strong characters, and that's what I look for. Like the Ripley character is one of the reasons I really liked the first couple movies. So I mean, I did give it a 7 out of 10. It had like good gore and there was some horrific parts in it, but to me it was just like another Alien movie. It wasn't anything special. And then after that, these are the last two ones. Did a double feature last night. If you watch my friend Double Shot Jay's videos, you'll see that he's been posting double feature nights, and it's something we started over at my buddy Matt's house, where we basically take turns picking out two movies that are related in some way, and we kind of discuss them and then video record us watching them and giving our thoughts on them. So it was my turn, and I chose road horror, and one of my picks was The Car. I think this is from 1977. Now, this is a movie that I saw when I was young, and I remember not caring for it back then, and I thought, oh, maybe it's because I was young and, like, just didn't really care for older movies like this, but on rewatch, like, I still didn't love it too much. It just feels like the parts with the car are pretty cool, but there's parts where with, like, just random character stuff going on that you don't really care about, like, you just don't really care about these characters. It's almost like a slasher, but with a car instead, and yeah, it's not the best thing in the world, but it's not horrible either. I could see why some people do love this movie, but for me, I gave it a 6 out of 10, just not my favorite. And then lastly, for this, what I watched, guys, I have Duel, and I absolutely love Duel. I'd only seen it one time before, actually, and I'd watched clips on YouTube before that, but I actually watched this one and The Car around the same time. I think I was like 13, and I watched them both with my mom, so that's kind of why I picked them both for this double feature night, because I just think of them both as being paired together, kind of. But this is a great movie. It is not only Steven Spielberg's first movie, but it's only a TV movie, and it's only rated PG, but it's a great movie. I mean, it reminds me of a lot of, like, The Hitcher and Joyride, which probably two of my favorite horror movies of all time. I'm really into road horror, and I mean, it seems like it wouldn't have a lot going for it because it's just like a guy running from this truck basically the entire movie, but it does a good job of building tension, and I really appreciate that. And for me, this movie is a 9 out of 10. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Once again, I'll try to keep up with these what I watch videos, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.